Chandler Halderson was your usual 23-year-old. He attended his local college in Madison, Wisconsin. He had a long-term girlfriend and 2 dogs. He still lived at home, but he was working on that. He was getting his IT degree, and then he was going to accept a job offer from SpaceX and move to Florida. In the meantime, he was going to keep working remotely for an insurance company. Or was he? This is the question that Halderson's parents, Krista and Bart, kept asking themselves. When was he actually attending college? His father worked from home some days, and he didn't believe that his son was actually attending at all. And why was Chandler always broke if he had that swanky insurance job? Could his workplace's payroll software really not have been fixed for months on end? And how exactly would he have gotten that SpaceX job? Chandler didn't even hold a degree and didn't have any work experience either. Where did the truth lie? Chandler's parents would find out the hard way. On the 29th of June 2021, Bart Halderson made a call to Madison College, where his son was supposedly enrolled. On the other end of the phone was a very confused administrative worker. Bart, who had introduced himself as his son, Chandler, was asking for his graduate diploma. But not only did Chandler never finish college, he had a $2,000 debt to the college and had not been enrolled in any classes since a year prior. Bart set up an in-person meeting with the college and his son, which was going to address some of Chandler's many lies to his parents. Halderson had been proving his attendance to his parents by showing them emails between himself and a couple of college employees. However, neither of them was real. Halderson went as far as buying and using burner phones which corresponded with the email addresses he created. But Bart never showed up to the 1st of July meeting, and neither did Chandler. Some of Halderson's neighbors reported a bright flash which had come from the Haldersons' home on the afternoon of July 1st. Inside the home, this bright flash was followed by the sound of a broken glass chimney and the thud of Bart's body hitting the floor. His last text to his son was, "Ready when you are," at 2:15 p.m., after which Bart's health app stopped recording data and his phone was turned off. Only a few minutes later, Krista, Chandler's mum, receives a string of texts saying, "Dad's phone died. Text or call and get soda on your way home." Krista arrived home around 3 hours after Halderson's murder of his father. Her manner of death is still unknown. After murdering his unsuspecting parents, Halderson most likely brought them down to his basement, where he dismembered them. Body parts were later found belonging to Krista and Bart Halderson. Bart's torso, missing its head, arms or legs, but still dressed, and Krista's entire right leg and left foot. Later on the same day, Halderson's neighbors remember noticing the strong smell of burning wood, which soon turned into a smell they described was alike to barbecuing a large pork. A beaming light could be seen inside the Halderson home. The fireplace was on. In fact, the fire was larger and brighter than usual, particularly at around 3 a.m., considering Chandler was attempting to burn his parents' remains. A total of 230 bone fragments have since been retrieved from the fireplace's ash trap. Halderson was interrogated on the 8th of July and arrested straight after his interview, on account of sharing misinformation about a missing person. Today we present you a detailed analysis of Halderson's interrogation and of his guilty conscience. Halderson walks into the interview and sits down awkwardly. He doesn't seem comfortable with himself. Like an overgrown child still wearing his high school swim team hoodie from 2013, Halderson awaits the officers. Halderson's anxiety can be felt through the screen as he walks into the interrogation room where he is briefly left by himself. He runs his sweaty palms down his jeans and leans forward, in a position which denotes rigidity. As time passes, Halderson eases into his chair. He starts looking around, exploring his surroundings more. He stretches out his legs. He had been tensing them, maybe even subconsciously. The more he is left by himself, the more restless Halderson becomes. His legs are itching. He needs to keep changing positions on the chair, and his breathing speeds up. He had been left alone with his thoughts, and his thoughts are dominated by feelings of anxiety. Halderson gets up and puts his ear against the wall, listening to see if he is being spoken about. Do they know he is guilty? Could they know? As soon as he hears movement from outside the room, Halderson moves his head away from the wall, but places it back shortly. Halderson looks around the room as he realizes that his eavesdropping had probably been recorded. But where are those cameras? He looks around and counts them. His behavior is becoming increasingly suspicious to any officers that might be watching. Halderson is instructed to switch chairs so that he is facing the camera. As he sits down and asks the officers,
"What's going on?"
we can immediately notice anxiety in the tone of his voice. He does not make eye contact as he asks this, instead looking down. Halderson is wide-eyed and his position on the chair is constrained, indicating that he is receiving adrenaline. As Chandler is told what the interview will be on, he furrows his brows. He is worried. He gesticulates widely, interrogating the officers' reasons and wondering just how much do they know.
So yesterday, July 7th, I came to your house where you live with your parents, Bart and Krista Holderson. And the reason I was there is you had gone to the Windsor Police Department and reported them missing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you reported your parents missing. We got some information from you yesterday. We've been following leads last night, working today to, go through different things, just trying to locate them, right? So I guess if you want to start with, let's just go back to last Wednesday.
Wednesday, I was with my dad. What time Wednesday? I remember it. It was kind of a bad day.
Okay. Why was it a bad day?
Well, my mom had work, so she was gone. My dad and I were watching something over lunch. It was The Wheel of Fortune, and we normally have the couch, like with our back facing the table we sat at the end of you coming.
Downstairs or upstairs?
Downstairs.
Okay.
Yeah, that room with the TV. I tossed the ball, and I smashed the glass.
Okay.
With the dog's help. That set my dad off.
As Halderson is discussing what had happened the previous Wednesday, what stands out is that his speech is slow and he is taking calculated breaks between his sentences, almost as if he were retracing a memorized text.
We tried to clean it up.
Okay.
I don't know about him, but I got injured. But he was mad. He didn't really talk to me too much that day. My mom got home at 5, I believe. That's her normal, 5:20 to 5:30.
What time does she work,
7:30 is when she leaves. I don't know her hours, but I know when she leaves is 7:30. And then all the way up till 5, and she comes home 5:20, 5:30.
Did she come home about 5:20, 5:30 that day?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. So you were tossing a ball. What type of ball was it?
It's this gross, hairy tennis ball that Rizzo loves.
Alright. Just like a green tennis ball, like a normal.
Yeah.
Normal. Okay.
With a squeaker, not like a tennis racquetball, but
they don't chew those. My dog
ball.
chews those out of any tennis ball. They just chew the squeakers out and then they don't play with them anymore. Alright, so you was tossing that around, broke the fireplace glass. You said you were injured. What type of injury?
I got a pretty deep hole in my foot. Last night Mary looked at it and she said the reason it keeps bleeding is because there's glass in it.
Oh, so, you showed us your toe.
Yeah, I showed the detective lead.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so Wednesday, back to Wednesday.
Yeah.
Once I got all the glass out of the dog's hair, she didn't sustain any injuries.
Good.
Nothing even on her nose. She got it with her shoulder bone, I believe. And the rest, he didn't really talk to me. I went back to doing like a job search, kind of just shitting my day away. Just games, YouTube maybe. That's when I came across one of the jobs I liked. But then 5 o'clock rolled by and Mom came home. Dinner.
What do you guys have Wednesday night?
I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Who made it?
I think it was probably just stuff from the fridge.
Okay.
I think we all did our own thing again.
Sure.
Another detail in Halderson's body language which is indicative of his anxiety is his constant touching of either his legs or arm, which acts as a soothing mechanism. Halderson is also avoiding eye contact for the large majority of the interview, indicating dishonesty.
By the way, a detective at my house said something's happened, and while we were leaving, people were going inside. Is there a warrant for my house?
Should there be?
No, I'm just wondering if...
Okay.
Halderson abruptly changes the subject of the questioning, this time shifting his tone to an assertive one, and looking the detective in the eye. This behavioral switch is sensed by the detective, and when challenged, Halderson returns to his previous attitude. The instability of Halderson's behavior suggests that he has a hidden motive behind his question.
Can they go in?
As far as I know, they were at your house and they were going to be there talking to you to ask if you would come up here and talk to us.
But Officer Haley just walked pretty much in to the gate, the gate on the outside. She just kind of walked in. I was wondering.
Was that when you were getting your wallet?
No, we were. I was in the car waiting to leave. I was just wondering if everything's okay because she said something's happened.
Okay.
And we need to go down.
All right. I'll find out what that's about.
Well, has anything bad happened?
Oh. Not sure. All right. So Wednesday night, Mom comes home. Dad was angry. Was he yelling or what was? How would you describe Dad being angry?
It was. He would yell if you said something to him, I guess. If you talk to him, if you give him his space, he'll be okay. So
Wednesday night.
Wednesday, if you just give him his space. That's all we did. Just give him his space. He wouldn't yell or do anything.
Okay.
That's all we had to do. Ma and I went to clean, do some laundry, make our beds, stuff like that. We had an early night. No TV that night.
Gotcha. What time did your parents go to bed Wednesday night, do you think?
I was in bed at 8.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
As Halderson proceeds with the events of the following day, we can notice yet another telltale sign of anxiety. He clenches his jaw. In fact, his entire stance at this point in the interview indicates a high level of unease, from his hugging his body to being slouched over in a tense position, with his head down.
What time do you think?
6.
Okay.
Dogs.
We talked about that yesterday. 6 a.m. is kind of your deal, right? 6 a.m.
Yep, that internal clock now.
Yeah.
I haven't used the thing in a while.
Right.
6. I don't often eat breakfast, so I kind of just stay in my room on my phone. Help my mom out getting ready in the morning. She left for work at 7:30. I got her whatever she had to do. What was it? It was meaningless tasks, like just daily, like pillowcase changes and sheet changes, stuff like that. You know, in the morning.
Before work?
Yeah. That's what we always do. Then she's gone. My dad starts the grill around 8:39
In the morning?
to get the temperature right.
Was he working from home that day, or?
Yes.
Okay.
We ate the grill. Nothing really happened between that. We kind of either were outside with the dogs from the lighting of the grill, him going in, taking a couple calls now and then, or emails or something. But we just kind of watched the grill and waited to get it set steady at the hamburgers for $3.50-ish.
Okay.
Then, we just kind of waited. Sorry, I'm really trying to with the memory.
That's fine.
Then, we went to go do our own things. I went back to a little bit more job searching. This time I branched into DeForest instead of just Windsor looking. He went back to work. We planned on something went well. Then we just kind of hung out, and my mom gets home, and I start shrimp scampi for my dad, because that's what he wanted, but we didn't have shrimp, so I made shrimpless scampi. That's where they told me while we were eating it, they were going to go with their friends, and I was like, oh, cool.
And they said they were going cabin.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we're going up north.
Up
That's
north
how
with
they
friends,
refer to it.
Who said that? Mom or dad?
Ma. Friday morning, I woke up. They had left with the stuff. It was all set out. They remembered the gas.
Alright, so Friday during the day, just played video games, kind of.
Yeah. Then after work, I believe that was the day Kat came over.
After whose work?
Kat, she is
after
5.
her work.
5 is her work when she was off. I believe she came over. She, I believe she stayed with me on that couch that night.
So she spent the night over.
Yeah.
What'd you do before you went to bed?
That was Friday night. That might have been my own night. I might be wrong. I'm wrong.
Okay.
I think I spent that night alone. I just kind of gamed online with some of my friends. Oh, I said Saturday night. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Then we get to Sunday. It's the 4th. The morning, I'm a little worried about my family. I think I called my mom. Oh, throughout I've called, I don't know the times though. Throughout the weekend, I mean. But I called my mom, I believe, in the morning or along those lines, and I get a text from her. It was a text message, it wasn't even an iMessage, so I assumed. She said White Lake today. so she sent it that day. I couldn't figure out where she was. Because it was a text, there was no iMessage, so I kind of just like left it at that. They're safe, they're alive. We went to my house and back to Cress's. We were late.
Okay.
For dinner.
What were you guys driving? Were you in your
Cat's red Subaru.
Okay. Was she driving or you?
She
Okay.
drives that. Cat's her car.
Red Subaru, you said?
Yeah, it's at my house right now.
Oh, okay. And you rode with her.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go for a swim?
There's like a little pool up at the Cress's house.
Oh,
She's been helping me with my walking and everything, and they get me there.
Okay. Is it indoor or outdoor?
Outdoor.
It must have been nice with how hot it has been.
Yeah, they got something fancy to heat it from the sun.
Okay.
But that was the three of us.
Yeah.
Then we went back to around 6, no, later, maybe 7. We went back to Kat's apartment, dropped off Rose, got Kat's dirty or wet clothes. She had wet clothes because she was going to dry them, and we went to my house together. And then we go to dance.
Okay.
For the fireworks. That he asked us to come by 8:30. For some reason, I was trying to leave, but I was making a joke about it that we're gonna be late, like stuff like that, goofy crap. I drove to dance.
Okay. Which car were you guys in?
My dad's Subaru. It's a blue.
The one in the garage.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Then we get there, we stay for 45 to an hour. That's how I got the bottle rocket marks.
Show me those again.
That
that
the sparks.
That's right, you said
and
you
I
were
think
holding
this
them or
was a
something.
wad or something that flew back.
Shot back out of it.
Halderson appears relaxed at this point in the interview. The officers have him where they want him. He is asked to show some wounds he got from some 4th of July fireworks. The officers press further, with the one sitting to Halderson's right, and who had not been partaking so far chiming in.
Yeah, that one stuck in for a little bit. That's why it's so bad, but these are sparks.
Okay.
Those are at dance house you got those?
Dance.
The dance.
I didn't know the stick. You don't hold the stick. The stick flies with it.
Oh, sure.
I didn't know. After that, we cleaned. I gave him a bottle of wine as a thank you for letting us come. Thankfully, I still have a couple bottles at home. But there we are. And then someone in the distance, kind of closer to our house, launched a mortar, artillery firework.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, we have to go home for the dogs. So we went. And that was pushing 9:30, 9:45. We got home, and we get to bed upstairs in my room, because she doesn't like the couch, and she had work in the morning.
Yeah.
Then it's Monday morning. Cat goes to work 7:50-ish, or maybe earlier. Then I'm left to myself, so we put on New Girl on the couch for it on Monday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I go back and forth through some video games, and then back. And video games. So New Girl, video games. This is Monday. We're getting later. I have a little bit to eat for lunch. Well, at the end of the day on Monday, I did go, for the afternoon, I did go to the farm to talk to Cress and Kat's mom. I told him what's happening with my health. I think Kat's mom is alright with me. I don't know, she wants me to move into the east side, Kat's house, and start paying rent as an apartment because she doesn't like that I live at home.
Does Kat live with their mom, or?
Kat has an apartment.
Okay.
Somewhere. So I'm there talking to their mom and Chris. Then I go up to have, a breakdown by their shed, and they go swimming. Right by the swimming pool is the shed, so they wanted to watch me, break down and all that. So after I noticed they're just watching, I just walk over to them.
Describe your breakdown to me.
I actually cried.
As he describes his breakdown, Halderson smiles widely, almost as if he were proud of the reaction he had, and of actually crying.
Then I hopped in the water with them.
Okay.
So it was too late. I was in the water, and I realized Chris didn't have a top. And that was uncomfortable. But I talked to them more, and that's when she brought up the housing situation, how she doesn't like how my parents are. So they're offering me to get a job, live with them, work for them while I'm working, and pay rent. And that's kind of their deal. I would have a month free of rent, or a month or two maybe.
When asked what he had a breakdown about, Halderson looks up at the detective. Notice the change in his facial expression, from the previously furrowed brows and tensed jaw to looking up, smiling sarcastically and talking back at the officer. At this point, we are seeing a new side to Halderson.
What were you having a breakdown about?
You ever have your legs kind of... Yeah.
No, I haven't.
It's just... I don't even know if they're done getting as bad as they can be yet. So yeah. That's not fun.
And I think you were telling me last night it's a symptom of a concussion, right?
So
is that right?
That's not it. It's a symptom of nerve damage from the hip to my spine. So it's permanent.
Okay, I understand that now better.
Yeah. So it's just legs. I think it's about waist feeling is probably colostomy bag down the road and all of that. But here we are Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're sitting in the pool, we're hanging out. They're just talking to me. Sometimes they're being nice, sometimes they're making the offer, hey, if you move in, you can pay rent. This is a good neighborhood, kind of like the one by my parents.
Mm-hmm.
If I live there, I at least be on doing my own thing. And then they're well, appreciate you stopping by. So I head out and I go. It was Monday afternoon. I go to dinner at Kat's house on the east side.
Okay.
I think we just eat and cuddle a little bit.
Okay.
I go home. There's the girls. Let them out and go to bed because I kind of had a day.
Yeah. What time do you think you left her place?
Let's say 9.
You left about 9. Okay.
Tuesday morning. It was just. I can't remember Tuesday. Dan wakes me up, I believe, with something, or not wakes me up. I did the 6 again with the dogs and the food, but I got back in bed. I don't know if I passed out or zoned out a little bit, but.
The closer Halderson's timeline gets to the moment of the interview, the less detailed it becomes. His first description of the Wednesday prior to his parents' disappearance is much more detailed, and scripted than days in his more recent past. He bows his head down, resting his chin on his hands as he attempts to fill in the time gaps left by his crime. These gaps and his frustration with filling them are a vulnerability, a visible one which can be noticed in Halderson hiding his face away from the officers.
Dan is worried about my mom on Tuesday, I think.
Did he call
I
or
said
text her?
no word. My mom. I don't know if he called or texted.
Okay.
I think he just contacted. That's what I can think of.
Reached out.
Yeah, he reached out. Then I'm like, oh, it's Tuesday morning. They should be here. No worry. I think I called my mom that day.
Alright.
And then,
You talked to her?
no, she never picked up. It's always the voicemail and said voicemail. You know when you...
Oh, yeah.
So it's off, out of range. I don't know the other factors that could give you that.
It's like a voicemail right away. Goes right to voicemail, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whatever factors can give you that.
So I might have missed it. So from the time like they left, did you talk to them at all when they were
I got a
up
text.
north? You got the one text
And I
that you mentioned
don't
earlier,
even like it.
right?
Yeah.
But that was it? Nothing else?
Yeah. So that's fishy to me, even the text, because I realized Memorial Day is when the White Lake Parade is.
Oh, sure.
There's no 4th of July. Maybe there's cheap drinks, but there's no parade at
Okay.
White Lake on the 4th.
So basically from the time that they're gone at the cabin and you're home, running around doing what you're doing, you just had one communication with mom?
Yeah, that's kind of how
Via
I
text.
just assumed the amount of people, where they're at, and whether
Sure.
all
Oh, I understand. I'm just making sure it wasn't more than one.
her not contacting, but this was the only text.
Was there anything with Dad?
No, I wouldn't even bother talking to him. He wouldn't use his phone while he's up there. He loves it.
Oh.
But,
Does he keep his phone on him when he's up there?
it's usually in the car.
Oh, okay.
Then my brother and I just text all the time while we're up there. We even set up wire antennas sometimes to make better connection.
Sure. Okay.
So here we are. Where?
Tuesday. Called mom. Voicemail immediately.
Voicemail immediately Tuesday-ish. Where?
Dan called, worried about mom not coming to work. You had already fed the dogs and that before Dan called you, or reached out to you.
So Tuesday. I'm doing this kind of thing. I got a coffee at a Quick Trip one day. Well, I think that could have been Tuesday morning.
Okay.
At Quick Trip, I got a coffee, and I used my dad's number at a Quick Trip to get me the free one because it was the
Rewards.
Krupa Gold.
Yeah.
I could have afforded it, but there's a free one, and it's Tuesday, or it wasn't Monday. I could have gotten a $1 one, but it was full price, I believe, and I grabbed the coffee because it was a free one. He hasn't used it for weeks, so I grabbed that at a Quick Trip. I couldn't tell you which one. I was just driving at that point. It was terrible.
Oh, what?
I wanted to try Krupa Gold.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Then we're at Tuesday. Cat's working up, and I'm gaming, job hunt, and then I started trying to get the glass. 'Cause I've been a little lazy on the glass. I just kind of had chairs in front of it. I broom and a little sweeper holder. You broom it into that.
Dustpan.
Yeah. Tossing the glass into recycling. And just, my blood was kind of on the floor, so I got the Swiffer I borrowed from Kat, from the foot. I brought a Swiffer to mop. I Swiffered the floor, like not the stone, but the floor. And then I got a little bit in the kitchen. And then everywhere kind of I walked, pretty much. The bathroom, the kitchen, and then I couldn't get the carpet, so I still stained that up real crappy.
Where was there carpet at?
The stairs between basement and kitchen.
Carpet. Oh, that's right.
Carpet stairs. I tried. I can't get it out.
As Halderson goes back to talking about an event he had likely scripted, in this case the reason for the bloodstains on his floor, we notice his more relaxed persona return. The contrast between his speech now and his complete silence only minutes before is stark, to say the least.
Then all the way up to the laundry room where I found my first aid kit. I just tried to stop all the bleeding, but it wouldn't stop. So.
And that blood was all coming from your left foot.
Yeah, left foot hole.
Left foot hole. Yeah. I mean, are we talking massive amounts of blood, or are we talking, a little bit, like describe?
It started as drops until I got to the bathroom. And then I got back to go grab my sock and some of the paper towel. And then I see the glasses in there, so I grab the tweezers and I pull it out. And then it starts squirting out. And I got some, a little bit of the rock. It wasn't that bad of the rock. But I think the worst was that floor. That, like, it kind of like, like this lid puddles. Mm-hmm. It wasn't good.
Are we talking the floor down in the basement?
Well, that one, and then I go upstairs to the kitchen, and it's still going, and I'm trying to get my foot in the sink just to slow it down and pinch it, maybe. And then I waddle upstairs to the IFAC, or the first aid kit. And once I got it kind of bundled up, it stopped for what I know. Then I need to get some tape. We have a tape box in the basement. I go there and I opened it up again. I bled a little bit more, but the basement was easy to clean. That's just cement. Just a little bit of water, and I rigged that up. But then I grabbed the tape box and I wrapped it. After that's Tuesday.
Yep.
Where are we?
Wednesday morning. Jane sends you a picture of the cabin.
Then I go to the police station because I ask her, when should I make a thing? I'm sorry.
No worries, man.
What?
Wednesday morning, you said you went to the police department.
Yeah, to make I still think of it. Talk to him about my parents. And then that night, what night are we on? Wednesday night. I go to Dan and Mary's.
Wednesday night.
What
time do you think?
They feed me, I had probably 7:30.
So you said you went to the police department to talk about your parents. Just tell me, what exactly did you talk about your parents with the deputies about?
Oh, we're making a report. That I thought I had to do that at a station.
Okay. And you were reporting, like, what were you reporting exactly? I just want to write down and have it on there.
They're missing this.
Okay. They're missing this. Okay. All right. I'm just kind of look at some things here. So we started Wednesday. Mom had work. You and your dad watched Wheel of Fortune. I'm just going to kind of read stuff back through a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. And we kind of ended it last night because I've been talking to you since then, so I don't think there's much else that I need you to tell me from last night. So watching Wheel of Fortune, you're on the couch, table downstairs, or couch with the back to the table downstairs, and tossing the ball around for the dog and broke the glass fireplace. Your foot gets hurt, Dad gets mad. Right?
Yeah.
Mom left for work in the morning, comes home later on. Dog was fine, not injured at all. Was it the dog or the ball that crashed into the glass?
Both. The ball bounced it, but the dog hit it with the shoulder.
Okay.
That's how it broke. The ball wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, probably not. Okay. Alright. Playing games, watching YouTube, job search. I'm just gonna, instead of reading out loud, just make sure I don't have any questions. You guys typically make your beds every day? Looked like they were made yesterday when I was there.
Yes.
Okay.
We usually use sheets every few days in beds.
As far as the blood on your foot, how did you clean that up? So we were talking. You had blood on
Swiffer wet jet.
Okay, Swiffer wet jet. And where did you get that from?
Cat let me borrow it.
Where's it at now?
I returned it.
To Cat.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I
fine.
don't know where it's at now.
Did you use anything else?
Hydrogen peroxide for the tiles and the hard floors. Just the big globs needed a little bit.
Hydrogen peroxide. Did that seem to help get rid of the blood?
Well, it hurt my foot, that stuff. But it didn't really help.
Okay.
It kind of just made a mess.
And when you say only on tiles, I'm trying to remember your house.
I couldn't do carpet with it. It would
Yeah.
ruin the carpet, right?
It would. I think so. Tiles, are we talking kitchen? Because downstairs
Yeah.
is just like cement.
Well, when I had some blood on the basement, I used the peroxide.
Okay. Basement floor and tiles in the kitchen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I peroxided. It wasn't as much. Like, there were, like, this size pools in the kitchen.
Okay.
I was pinching it pretty dang hard, but which was also cutting deeper, because I had might still have another piece of glass.
Is
So-
that the biggest pool that you saw? Was something?
This was downstairs. This was kind of on the stone, close to the glass, and then there was one right at the base, kind of where the chairs I put. Like a good, like 2-3 inch diameter.
3-inch diameter. Okay.
More than that.
Did you do anything to? So I wrote down on Tuesday that you tried getting the glass cleaned up in the basement. Tossed it in the glass and recycling. Did you clean up at all when it actually happened?
No, my dad was furious.
So you just
So he did stuff.
to clean it.
Yeah, I don't know what he did. But he sent me to my room upstairs, and he did whatever he did, but it still was on the floor after he was done.
Okay. Did your dad get injured at all when the glass broke? Did he step on any or
He sent me up, but I don't doubt it. When he gets mad, he's not thinking.
So we don't know if your dad got hurt.
No,
Okay.
no. But my best guess is that guy reached in the fireplace and cut off his arm or something. I don't know.
Is there any reason to believe Mom or Dad's blood would be somewhere in the house?
Halderson plays off this question well. The officer had obviously asked it with the intent of raising his anxiety, and whilst we can still see the classic signs of dishonesty in Halderson, such as his avoidance of eye contact, his tone of voice is relaxed. Halderson's attitude tells the officers that they have good rapport with him. But the iron needs to strike while it's hot.
Have they been injured at all that you're aware of?
Well, my dad scratches his psoriasis till he, gushes blood.
Okay. Gushing, describe gushing to me.
Enough to run down your leg, cover your leg, I suppose. Like, he has it on his knee. So when he does this, it just like drips down. I ask him to stop, but he doesn't do it when he's stressed out.
Yeah.
He just kind of like, it's his tick.
Yeah, probably itches. Does he, like, does it enough to get on the floor? Does it leave?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like how much, like, before we were talking the water bottle lid and the Yeti lid, is there, I mean, like, are we talking puddles like that, or just ribbons, or?
It could be enough.
Okay.
But I'm thinking Yeti lid if he's there and I don't catch him soon enough.
Oh, jeez.
My ma's blood, just from her bloody noses she gets sometimes when she wakes up. That's why we've been doing the humidifier and dehumidifiers.
Yeah. Probably downstairs you get the...
We have to do multiple of them, but she can't be in the living room too long because that's a dehumidifier. And if she does, her nose gets bad. Not like a regular one, she gets it bad. But she either goes to the kitchen to fix it, her vanity, or the bathroom.
When she has bloody noses, are we talking it's just spraying around? Is it just dripping?
Well, it's not squirting, but it's
Just enough
dripping,
to
and
know.
she doesn't notice it.
Okay.
She can't feel it anymore.
Okay. Is there any reason to believe that in either one of their vehicles there would be any of their blood?
Their vehicles?
Yeah. Or anybody's vehicle, let's say that.
No, maybe car trash. Mom's car trash would definitely, the past few days. My dad's car trash.
Why would they have blood in their car trashes?
Well, my mom does the bloody noses with the air conditioning, so
Oh, okay.
when we have air conditioning, my mom will have to use bring towels and stuff,
Yeah.
because in the hot days you can't have your windows open, you won't drive well.
Yeah.
So air conditioning, my mom will have nosebleeds. My dad hasn't had them as much as she does, but he gets them.
Okay.
His are worse than my ma's.
Does she ever get them in the house then, or?
Mostly just with air conditioning, but sometimes with the dehumidifier.
Okay.
Me personally, just in air conditioning,
Mm-hmm.
I get them, but not as bad as my parents. It's not bad.
Okay. Alright. As far as up at the cabin, when do you think the last time you were up there?
Personally, last year,
Last year.
Memorial Day, I believe. If it wasn't the weekend before Memorial. I didn't make the parade. I never got to go last year.
When do you think the last time your mom or dad were at the cabin before?
My dad went when my brother was diagnosed with diabetes.
When was that?
The weekend before my concussion, so 1, 2, 3. Well, not including this week. 3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Did Mitch go up there with him? When he
No,
went?
my mom and I were kind of with Mitch all that weekend doing stuff.
Dad just went alone.
Yep. And then later that week, I had my fall, and I've just started getting my memory back.
Okay.
So,
Has Mom been up there this year at all?
Mom has not been up there this year.
Okay.
Maybe they were up there before. No, I think Dad did it all himself. Maybe. I mean, this is first
And Mitch hasn't been in the cabin in a while, right?
today.
Oh, well, other than today.
Yeah, I couldn't say he's been there. He didn't go last year.
Okay. Does he kind of do his own thing, or?
Mitch hasn't lived with us, or like he's got a family now, a dog, a girlfriend, no kids, but
Cool.
he's kind of opposite side of town. You know how it is with brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
He's flew the coop.
Got a few of them myself.
Yeah,
All right.
I've started thinking about that myself. That my parents are trying to figure that out with me.
The other officer intervenes, an unfamiliar voice to Halderson. This combined with the officer's accusatory remarks send Halderson into a panic. His head turns from one officer to the other as he starts realizing their play on him, and his anxious facial expression, complete with sweaty palms, has returned.
Okay. So we have like 20 pages of writing. We're going to start with a clean white piece of paper for you to start telling the truth.
Okay, what?
Because listen to me. This is the only chance you're going to have to tell us the truth.
Okay.
What we listen. I can't tell you what we know, but we know you're not telling us the truth. We know your parents are no longer with us. Okay, and we know the reason why. Okay, we need to tell the truth. Listen.
As the second officer approaches Halderson, whose guilty head lies low like a terrified child's, we ought to notice his lack of reaction to the officers revealing that they know of his parents' deaths. Halderson's breath quickens, and his head is now fogged by panic. The perfect mix for the officers to keep mounting the pressure onto him and hopefully squeeze out a confession.
You need to tell the truth about what happened, and just tell us why it happened. Okay? If something happened, if you were defending yourself, or if you just got fed up with stuff, you need to tell us the truth. Okay? This is your chance to tell us why. Okay? I'm not BSing you. Okay? So can we do that?
Okay, they're okay. Lawyer.
Halderson turns his head away from the second officer, pointing it towards the one he had built rapport with, and shortly realizing that neither are actually on his team.
I'm sorry. Say it again, Chandler. Lawyer. Okay. Because they're... Okay.
You want a lawyer?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Just right down the time there. It's about 6:41.
You're under arrest. Okay.
Halderson's expression denotes a feeling of betrayal. He asks the officer to his left.
Okay. What happened? Okay.
You know what happened. We're not going to tell you what happened. You know what happened. You were there when it happened.
Once again, his personas have switched. A minute before this interaction, when Halderson was just being told he is under arrest, his attitude and body language were markedly different. He covers his head as the officer answers, before immediately letting go, realizing that his movements could be interpreted as fearful or anxious.
We're not BSing you, okay?
I wasn't there when it happened.
We know more than you think we know.
I understand. Okay.
There's people that have told us things. We have evidence, we have proof that more has happened. Okay. So your parents never made it to the cabin, and I think you know that.
On July 2nd, after Krista didn't come in to work, a couple of her co-workers stopped by the Halderson home to check in on her. They were greeted by Chandler, who had a bandage on his left foot, which he had cut on glass from the fireplace. His cut, Chandler said, was the reason there was blood everywhere in the house. On July 4th, Halderson sent a text from his mother's phone to his own. His story was that his parents had been picked up for a 4th of July weekend by an unknown couple, and that they were going to be at their family's cabin. He reported them as missing to the police on the 7th of July. Police caught on to the fact that something was off when they read the text Halderson's mother had supposedly sent him, which mentioned that they would be staying at the cabin for longer as they were going to see the White Lake 4th of July parade. There was no parade held in White Lake on that day. On July 5th, Chandler was seen around a Forstead area by his girlfriend's mother. He had asked her if he could come around and use the pool. She mentioned that she was not going to be home, but that he is welcome to use their amenities. When she came back, the pool cover was still on. Halderson's car, she said, was parked next to a forested area close to her home with the trunk open. Halderson came back a few moments later and appeared flustered. He then jumped in the pool, but only shortly. Vultures started frequenting the area on July 8th, and on the 14th of July, Bart Halderson's disembodied torso was found in the exact area that Chandler had been seen. After police filed 2 missing persons report on the 7th of July, the first missing link they encounter are the Haldersons' cars, which had been left untouched in their garage. Authorities in northern Wisconsin investigate the Halderson cabin, which they conclude had also been left untouched for a considerable amount of time. Neighbors in the area had also not seen anyone recently. On July 13th, a shell casing is found inside the Halderson home. The casing is consistent with an SKS rifle, which Halderson was in possession of at the time of the murders. As Bart's remains are discovered and identified, Chandler is arrested and charged with the murder of his father, but Krista still remained to be found. On the 30th of July, human remains which had been found in a pond nearby the Wisconsin River are identified as Krista's, and Chandler is now formally charged with the heinous murder of both his parents. Unbeknownst to Chandler, there was evidence which placed him where he had dumped his mother's remains. His girlfriend, whom he had told he was busy with chores, became suspicious and took a screenshot of Chandler's Snap Maps location. He was near the Wisconsin River. After lying to the police for almost 2 hours and finally being charged with the murder of both his parents, Halderson's trial in March 2022 resulted in life sentencing without the possibility of parole. Halderson was found guilty on 2 counts of first-degree intentional homicide, mutilating a corpse, hiding a corpse, and providing false information about a missing person. What is left behind is a broken, devastated family home and the memories of what might have seemed like a normal family. No one knew, and no one could have known what a scrawny-looking, unambitious son like Chandler Halderson could be capable of.